What's good, y'all? It's King Combs, and right now I'm taking over my dad's Instagram. We're going to be sharing clips, spreading that good energy, and taking y'all back through memory lane with all the positive stuff he's done. King Combs has backed his pops since day one, showing support, staying quiet, and proving loyalty as the legal heat builds. But this week in court, everything shifted. Word is, King showed the judge something that caught real attention, and now insiders claim this moment could flip the whole case. I think Diddy might actually walk. What exactly happened behind those courtroom walls that could shift the whole direction of this case? Let's dig into the details. The family holding, strong through the chaos. The Manhattan Federal Courthouse has become the heart of this intense saga that kicked off on May 5, 2025 with jury selection, followed by opening arguments on May 12th. The trial's expected to go 8 to 10 weeks, possibly stretching into July, as the prosecutors lay out their case against the hip-hop boss who's been sticking to his not guilty pleas. What's got everyone buzzing isn't just the charges, but the look of Diddy's crew showing up deep at court. His kids walking in sync, showing serious unity for their dad despite the fire he's under. Leading this family front line are his sons Quincy Brown, Justin Combs, and Christian King Combs, whose presence has become a huge part of the narrative, showing a sharp contrast to the wild allegations being thrown out by the prosecutors. Christian King Combs, 26, who's following his dad's playbook in music as King Combs, has been the most visibly loyal of them all. He dropped his first EP, Sincerely C3, back in 2019 and popped up on Making the Band and Wild 'N Out. In a sweet moment that says a lot about the family vibe, Christian was seen holding an umbrella for his grandma Janice Combs on a rainy day outside the courthouse, proving that respect for elders runs deep, even when the fam's facing the storm of their lives. But that strong show of family love has been put to the test by the graphic testimony being shared. The prosecutors say Diddy ran a criminal ring through his business world, pulling off all kinds of foul stuff, like sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and hiding the truth for 20 years. At the heart of this are the infamous freak-offs, described as drug-fueled sex events involving people who didn't want to be there. The raw nature of this testimony has clearly rattled the family. During Daniel Phillips' testimony, a male stripper who was the second witness for the prosecutors, Diddy's twin daughters Delilah and Jessie had to dip out the courtroom when it got too wild. They came back for a bit, but bounced again when the details got crazier. Same thing happened during more freak-off testimony. Chance, Jessie, and Delilah left the room, clearly disturbed by what they were hearing. That natural move to protect themselves from the sick content shows the tough spot these young adults are in, trying to stand by their dad while hearing potentially traumatic stories about what he might have done. Through all of this, the sons, especially Justin and Christian, have stayed strong. Their steady presence through all this noise serves a few purposes. It humanizes Diddy to the jury, shows the family's belief in his innocence, and gives an alternate image to the prosecutor's version of Diddy as a predator. The power of family support in big-name trials like this can't be ignored. Jurors can start to question how bad the claims really are when they see the accused surrounded by loyal family. Like, would these successful young guys stand this firm if they believed the worst? That unspoken thought floats heavy in the courtroom air, possibly helping Diddy's side. Outside the courtroom, Christian's support has taken a creative path. He dropped a diss track in May 2024, referencing the federal raid on his dad's place, and dropped another in 2025 titled One More Prayer, talking about needing to hug his dad. These musical vibes of loyalty show the emotional maze Diddy's kids are going through while dealing with the spotlight and legal pressure their father's facing. The emotional weight of the trial on the family was crystal clear on May 14, 2025, when they formed a prayer circle in the courthouse lobby after Cassie Ventura's testimony, proving their unity and faith through this nightmare. That powerful image of joint prayer in the middle of legal chaos says a lot about how the family's trying to stay grounded spiritually while facing scary outcomes. Throughout the court days, Combs has acknowledged his kids with small gestures, blowing, kisses or making heart signs, keeping that father-child link strong even in the stiff courtroom setting. These little love signs during such serious times show the emotional heart of the trial. A dad, no matter the accusations, leaning on the support of his kids. This connection goes beyond just showing up. Reports say Combs has been keeping in touch with his kids from lockup, still being a dad even while behind bars. In November 2024, when Diddy was locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, his kids called to wish him a happy 55th. A video showed his youngest singing Happy Birthday and blowing out candles. Diddy responded, "I love y'all. I can't wait to see y'all. I'm proud of y'all, especially the girls, all of y'all, just for being strong." Then added, "Thank you for sticking by me and holding me down. I got the best family in the world." Legal minds have weighed in on how big family presence can be in these kinds of trials. DJ Academics, talking about the case, pointed out how crucial public opinion is during courtroom drama. Do I think he's beating the case? Well, beating the case means not guilty on everything, absolutely not. I think he's catching a guilty verdict somewhere, but the top charges might not hold. No way, that RICO is the big one. As the legal madness rolls on, Diddy's sons and their presence remain a steady, silent reminder of family ties that hold even in the darkest storms. The contrast between the nasty claims and the image of a father embraced by his kids creates real tension, something that hits beyond courtroom walls and touches on deeper themes like family, loyalty, truth, and justice. The wild claims and the street-connected son. As the prosecutors try to build their case against Sean Diddy Combs, the courtroom has turned into pure chaos. The stories being told are so wild, they've got even seasoned lawyers looking stunned. The key figure in all this, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex and the star witness, whose 11-year on-off relationship with him from 2007 to 2018 forms the core of the government's story. The dynamics at play in Diddy's connections paint him as using his money, fame, and status to dominate and manipulate his victims, building a space where consent was blurred by fear and reliance. However, the picture of strong, independent sons willingly standing behind their dad complicates that image of total fear and control. The emotional layers of the trial have shown up clearly in the moments between Diddy and his kids. During a pause in the trial, Combs and one of his daughters exchanged heart signs, and he sent a kiss to his mother, who returned it. These small acts of kindness, witnessed by the jury, softened Diddy's image and brought an emotional balance to the dark accusations. The defense seems to be adjusting its strategy to take advantage of these moments. DJ Academics' analysis hints they may now zero in on the smaller charges, possibly admitting some blame while disputing the most damaging ones. This tactic, along with the missing witness and the emotional effect of his family being there, could seriously shift the trial's outcome in Diddy's favor. Instead of a potential life sentence, he might be looking at a much lighter punishment, a major turn that would clearly be partly credited to the role of his sons, especially Christian, whose loyal support and public image have helped shape the defense's message. No matter what the final decision is, the trial has uncovered the ugly side of the music world and raised disturbing questions about power, consent, and justice. For Christian and his brothers, living with this story will be a lifelong journey, one that truly began when they chose to defend their father in court. Even with all the graphic claims and proof shown against him, the security guard's explosive hidden tape. Things went wild in the Manhattan Federal Courthouse when former Intercontinental Hotel guard Israel Flores testified and dropped the bombshell about hidden footage showing Diddy assaulting Cassie Ventura in March 2016. When Flores mentioned this secret footage, Diddy's whole vibe shifted. Observers said he looked shaken, pale and shaky, asking over and over to use the bathroom. A not-so-subtle move to avoid facing the reality of what was unfolding in front of him. You could clearly see the panic, and he even said it out loud. In court, he asked, "Excuse me, Judge, I'm feeling a little bit nervous." Bro looked spooked, like his past demons just popped up in 4K resolution. This wasn't the bottle-popping Diddy from the music videos. This was a man watching his empire collapse frame by frame. Flores, now an LAPD officer, gave a clear timeline. About the night he answered a call from the 6th floor of the Intercontinental Hotel. His story painted a chilling picture of the events before, during, and after the moment caught on surveillance. So they brought a witness up. This dude was one of the top security guys, basically second in charge at the hotel back in March 2016. Only two folks took the stand that day, the earlier guy you heard about, and this one. Actually, the LAPD security officer was up first, but we mentioned them out of order. Still, just two people. So this guy worked at the hotel, he was the gear. On the bed. Important, right? I'll explain why. Because Cassie's saying that whole scene, what we all saw on tape, was her trying to flee one of those freak-off situations she didn't want to be in, and the presence of that third man supports her story about trying to run from a forced scene. That dude on the bed becomes major evidence, backing up Cassie's claim that Diddy hit her while she tried to escape, not just some jealous argument over a phone. The footage caught on the hotel's security cameras, which CNN dropped in May 2024, showed Diddy grabbing, shoving and kicking Cassie as she tried to get away. This footage, which Diddy didn't even know existed until way later, is possibly the most damaging evidence so far. Flores said after the whole thing, Diddy tried to pay him off to stay silent, suggesting he knew what he did and wanted to hide it. The guard said Diddy gave him this eerie, almost evil stare when he came out the elevator, just adding to the creepy vibe of it all. Now Diddy's team is like, that's why the footage matters. They're claiming, nah, freak-offs were consensual. But that's not the point here. Diddy's lawyer Brian Steele grilled Flores hard, trying to poke holes in his account by pointing out gaps between what he says now and what he reported back then. Steele asked, "You said something about Cassie having a purple eye. Why's that not in your original report?" The guy goes, "I didn't think that detail was necessary at the time." Steele pushed again. "You saw a man in the room, right? Why didn't you write that? Did you talk to him, ask his name?" And Flores was like, "Nope, the guy didn't say anything." The defense also brought up the fact that Flores shot videos on his personal phone, one of them joking about his shiny shoes, and sent them to his wife, hinting he was more hyped about being near a celeb than helping Cassie. Steele tried to spin it like Flores was maybe covering for Diddy back then, but now he's having a change of heart, so his story's shaky. They're saying, "You were telling everyone back then about what went down, but only now are you bringing up stuff that makes Diddy look bad. Why?" Still, even with the defense trying to rattle Flores, the prosecution hit one point hard. It doesn't matter if the guy's memory has gaps, the video speaks loud and clear. That hidden camera footage, which Diddy didn't know was rolling, shows him full-on assaulting Cassie, grabbing her by the neck, throwing her and kicking her while she's down. When this footage dropped, it hit so hard that Diddy actually released a rare apology in May 2024, taking the blame. But let's be real, that apology came after years of silence and only popped up once the footage went public, which feels more like PR cleanup than real remorse. And the hotel video is just one example of how hidden cams have turned into Diddy's worst enemy. Prosecutors hinted that there might be more videos coming, some reportedly taken from Diddy's own homes during the March 2024 raids. Just the thought of more hidden tapes out there has had Diddy constantly on edge in court. When the prosecution played the hotel footage, the courtroom was dead quiet. Jurors were visibly shaken. Diddy didn't even lift his head to watch. That footage he never knew existed might just be the piece that ends everything for him.